I'm Randy Walters with Co-Fed Families. We're back with you, and again we have with us Eric Wilson of the 912 Project. Eric heads it up for the state of Kentucky for Glenn Beck. Eric, that's a pretty large order to head it up for the entire state. I guess it keeps you pretty busy.
It keeps me pretty busy. Actually, I'm actually on the National Board of Directors as well for the for the National 912 Project as well. So,
okay. One of the things that has just come up that I thought was a brilliant idea, and you could have taken credit for this yourself, but no, you wanted to be honest about it and give credit to where the guy that came up with the idea. But is a new thing called Vacation Liberty Schools. And this is a program for children age, I think, 10 to 15.
correct.
And I'll let you explain that to them. It's not Vacation Bible School, it's Vacation Liberty School. So I'll let Eric explain that to you.
It's kind of formatted after the traditional vacation Bible schools, but the difference is we're going to have a strong liberty focus. We're going to talk about the founding of the founding fathers, the founding of this country, and kind of intertwine faith and how it influenced both of those. And as I said, I can't actually take credit for it. This was the 912. We're actually in Owensboro, Kentucky, who had the idea one morning. He said, "Hey, I was thinking about doing this over here." We thought it as well. It was a great idea, and I have to give credit to also Lisa Abler and a crew of volunteers that took that idea and within a week has put together a whole curriculum for it, what you can do, how you can start your own in your area. We have an excellent website, attendvls.org, that has all the information about it. And literally overnight, we've gained national recognition for this program, and we got some national exposure, and they're going to be performing these in New York State, Ohio, Florida, as well as multiple places around Kentucky as well.
All right. And the concept that the idea that has brought this about is that our children of that age are not being exposed to the information about the Founding Fathers, about the Constitution, about government that they should be getting in schools. They are not being exposed to that information at this time, and it's sad that they are not. But that's why they came up with the idea to have the Vacation Liberty Schools.
Yeah, sadly, you're not getting the education, especially historic education in our schools. It's become to a point now where it's almost, you're not allowed to have pride in America anymore, that we should be ashamed of what we've done in the past. We're going to reinstill that pride in who we were and where we came from. Yeah, we've made mistakes in the past, but we've learned from those mistakes, and that's what some of the pride we should have, is where we came from, where we were. And what we're going to do is go back to the founding principles and say, hey, this is what our country was founded on. And we're going to instill that into our youth, because that's where it's important. November 2nd is going to be a great day, and hopefully we can regain back control for conservatism and liberty. But more importantly is November 3rd, and more importantly is generations from now. They're going to have faced with decisions as well. And if we lay that foundation now in today's youth, they're going to make the right decisions in the future.
There are the children that you're targeting on this thing, the 10 to 15 age group. Well, now those in 3 years, those 15-year-olds will be able to vote.
Exactly.
And they may have a different idea when they go to the polls than what they might have had had they not been exposed to this information. And it's all about America. It's all about where we came from, and it's all about the way the Founding Fathers wanted to protect generation after generation by making sure that according to through the Constitution, that the laws that they set up were followed, and that the people were protected from an overbearing federal government. Thus, the 10th Amendment to the Constitution, 9th and 10th Amendment, actually, the 9th being more of a personal liberty, and the 10th being one for the states. And that issue came up in the Kentucky House and failed. HCR 10 was proposed by Stan Lee, and it failed. And it would have helped us greatly in the coal fields as a way to file suit against the EPA and say we didn't give you regulatory power, but it failed.
It failed because it never really came to a vote. They had procedures on the floor. They did everything they could not to even have it heard. And the truth, is when you look at the Kentucky House, there was a group of people, and sadly they were all Democrats, that said, we think Washington knows better what's for Kentucky than Kentucky does. That people in Kentucky don't know what's best for them. And we feel Kentucky knows best, and that's why we were champions of that 10th Amendment. And Stan Lee stepped up and presented that legislation saying, hey, we want to just reaffirm what the 10th Amendment says. It wasn't overreaching. It was just saying, this is what the 10th Amendment of the United States Constitution says. This is what the Kentucky Constitution says. We want to reaffirm that through a resolution, and that's what that bill said.
Right. And as it turns out, it was held in committee and not let out of it.
Yep.
By Democrats such as Greg Stumbo did not want that to come out. And I was even told by one representative, I said, you look bad because you didn't vote for that. He said, well, that was that old Republican that did that. And it was clearly down party lines on this issue, and it went against the best interests of the people of the state of Kentucky, and in particular, the people in the coal fields.
It did. And it was a shame that it went down party lines because it's not a partisan issue. When you look at our state sovereignty, it's not a partisan issue. It's Republicans and Democrats would all agree 100% that we believe that people in Kentucky knows best what's people in Kentucky. The U.S. Constitution says people in Kentucky should make up decisions of what's best for that state. But sadly, it went down party lines because they perceived it as a partisan issue. And in perceiving it as a partisan issue, they said, we don't care what the people say.
Right. And that's, it seems to be, again, that's the theme of government in Frankfurt, in Washington, is that the wishes of the people seem to be the last thing of importance on the mind of the legislatures. And that is why you see such growing involvement in groups like the Tea Party, and especially groups like Glenn Beck's 9/12 Project, because it is an awakening to the American people that, like Eric has said, something is just not right, and it's not. I want to thank you for watching this newscast on Coal-Fed Families, and advise you we will be doing more. Thank you very much.